Hey Real Riders, this is Louis Vitiello Jr., the host of Real Rides, and today we're going to be taking a look at a 900 horsepower Mazda RX7.
Hey everybody, my name's Aaron and this is my RX7. Alright, so on the outside of my car I've got still original Montego blue. Decided to try to keep it somewhat original. It's got a 99 spec front bumper conversion. Also I have 99 spec rear tail light. And otherwise the exterior is just wheels and suspension at that point. I have CCW 18x10s front and rear. They're square setup. And I have 285 30 18 R888s on it. On the inside, the car was originally a tan interior, automatic car. I decided I wanted to go ahead and swap it over to black. I feel like the tan held grease too much. It was really dirty. The color kind of fades in the sun. It just doesn't look very good. It's mismatched. So I swapped it over to an entirely black interior with R1 seats. And I decided to try to start replacing the interior panels just because the 93 plastics are really terrible with the soft touch coating peeling off. So went ahead and replaced those, got some new panels, and you can see that it has an aftermarket steering wheel. It's got the Affinity steering wheel, which is still a Mazda steering wheel. It's just not the 93 steering wheel that comes in it. It's got the T56 Magnum shifter in it, and then I have my county prison shift knob here. So 5th and 6th gear would be pretty much you're going to county jail or you're going to prison if you go into one of those gears at high RPM. It's also got a 4-gauge panel. They're all 52 millimeters, 4 of them up there. You got the air fuel ratio, you have your boost gauge, EGT gauge, and a water temperature gauge. Underneath the hood, it gets kind of complicated. There's a lot underneath there. It's where a majority of the modifications to the car are. The engine I actually built myself. It is a 13B RAW. It's a factory engine style. It's got a lot done to it. Initially, I used some of the factory parts, but realistically, the only factory part left now is the water pump housing and the alternator. You have aftermarket turbo manifold, and have twin wastegates on it, so it's fully divided. It's a T4 turbo, it's a GTX 42R turbo. That goes into a full 4-inch turbo back exhaust. It's got a 1.3 rear housing on the turbo. The intercooler is a 2000 horsepower Chiseled Performance intercooler. It's a custom intercooler they made for me. I have a ProJay Typhoon intake. It's a semi-peripheral port intake for drag racing, but I've gotten it to work on the street with some fine tuning, and that leads me over to the ECU, which is the Haltech Elite 2500 with M&W ProDrag ignition setup, CDI setup. It's got direct fire coils. It's got 6 ID 2000 injectors, 2 Bosch fuel pumps, dash 10 feed line, dash 10 return line. Then when we get into the rear, it goes through the transmission through an Otis Geiken. It's a triple plate clutch. It's got a custom input shaft, so that it goes to the T56 Magnum with a QuickTime bell housing. It's got a drive shaft and pro level axles on it. It's got ARP wheel studs, and the rear end has a custom brace on it, a cradle brace with a Turbo 2 differential inside of it. That's pretty much it on a lot of the big modifications. The rest of the stuff's just little things here and there.
All right, Aaron, thank you so much for coming out and joining us, man. It's been a pleasure spending a day with you. Normally, this is our ride-along interview, and there's a unique thing about your car that we haven't experienced yet in Real Ridez, and that's simply
It's super bad.
you're too noisy.
Heck, sometimes you gotta make noise.
I mean, literally inside of the car, all you hear is the exhaust in the car and just the raw power of the RX7, which made it impossible for us to actually film a ride-along interview.
Yeah.
So we decided it's part of the experience. So we decided to pitch tent and have the interview here. 93 Mazda RX7, but not your factory version. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so like you said, it's a 93. It's got an aftermarket front bumper. It's the 99 plus version from the Japanese car. It's got a lot of work done in the engine and transmission and rear end, and really just trying to make it more kind of I think it was underpowered from the factory, realistically. It didn't have enough power. It was a fun car, and it was pretty well balanced, but I got bored with it, right? So over the years, I was, let me get a little bit more power. I'll be happy with 300, 350, 400, 500.
It just kept going up and up and up.
And you think you're going to be happy at some number, and it never actually happens. It just keeps growing, keeps growing. And along the way, you break stuff and you upgrade things, and then you're not happy with some upgrade that you did or some modification. So you change it or you modify it. As you go, you find different balances, and it gets so that it's more of a race car than a street car. So you revert, you go back, and then you get a loud car that otherwise it's pretty fun though.
So this is not an everyday car that you would tend to go super high performance on. So why did you decide to do it?
So I think initially I got the car, and I think I was mostly interested because it looked really nice. I enjoy the lines of it. It's very smooth. It doesn't have a lot of sharp points. It's kind of a timeless Japanese classic. Everybody's heard of them, it seems like. They're kind of like one of the great top 4 cars for Japan. And notoriously unreliable, of course.
What's the future plans? Are you done now? Are you happy where it's at? Or is there like the next level that you're just itching to get to?
I think now at this point, I'll probably try and push a little bit more power out of it. We'll see how far this turbo can go, and I've got to do a lot of upgrades to other things in order to get to that next level of power. A little bit more fuel pump, more injector, maybe change the turbo and the exhaust side. I think realistically, I'm down to just changing some aesthetics, cleaning up things, trying to make it look cleaner, little things here and there, and then it'll make a big difference overall.
Okay. So you're in this for the long term. You're going to be keeping it for a while and continue to help it evolve.
Yeah, it's a money pit, man, but I love it. They don't call it a FD, a financial disaster, for no reason.
FD? Yeah. That's the official term, huh? FD.
Yeah, so they call them the FD, and you got the FB is the first generation, the FC is the second generation, the FD is the third generation. You got your financial burden, your financial crisis, and your financial disaster. One after the other.
I love it, man. Yeah. So how many pounds are you running now?
So I think at one point I was at 45 pounds, which I have no idea what kind of power makes at 45 pounds. I haven't gotten it down up there yet. But I would assume it's got to be pretty good at that point. A lot of guys that are making like 40 pounds make almost 1,000 wheel. I don't think I have a big enough turbo for that, but I'm sure I'm in the upper 800s at that point. It's got to be in the upper 800s. But right now, the daily setting is 30 pounds, which is about 760 wheel, depending on temperature and if it actually holds 30 pounds or if it spins or whatever happens on the dyno. It was varied a little bit. And then at 40 pounds, it made about 20% more. So it was still pulling a good bit of power at 40 pounds, but trying to keep that on the streets it's a different story.
For a daily driver, it's a little bit too much, right?
Well, I guess it scares a lot of people that ride with me, but to me, it's trying to get it to grab is usually you're past whatever speed limit you're at. So you kind of you turn it down a little bit.
Confidence in your ability to drive, confidence in the car, and just go with it.
It works.
It just works.
Coincidentally, I broke more engines making way less power. And they make a lot more power and it holds together a lot better. I have no idea how that works.
So let's jump to that, right? It seems like you've been through a lot of trials and tribulations, a lot of like lessons learned probably through the car. Big regrets?
I don't have a whole lot of big regrets. I think if I did things differently, I would change I would have built engines sooner, right? My own engines, because while there are some good shops out there, you don't know who they are until you deal with them.
Fair.
You can hear people's reviews, but they're getting different things than you are. You want something different. I would have built my own engine much sooner, and I would have went for more power quicker.
Okay.
So instead of going through all these different setups, but at the same time, I learned by doing that, right?
Sure.
You try different turbos, you break transmissions, clutches, rear end, whatever you break, you learn how to keep that from happening as often. And then you kind of grow and change setup, and it keeps going.
I'm inspired. I'm excited. Maybe I want to start my own RX7 project. What would you tell somebody who's just getting started in this process to help put them on the right path to get them successful?
So if you were looking for one, I would tell you to find the best chassis you can. Because realistically, what ate me up on this car the most was it was a crappy car to start with. It needed a ton of work.
Okay.
You needed, like, the wiring harness was an issue, right? It blew an engine because it was old, it was crispy. So if you can find one that's got lower miles, it hasn't been modified, it's in good shape body-wise, you can really go much further, much faster. Mine had rust issues, it had all kinds of wiring issues, overheated, all this stuff, but at the same time, it was fairly original, so I kind of knew what to work with.
Gotcha. I appreciate that advice. Is there anybody out there that's helped you along the way that you feel like you want to give some sort of credit for?
So there's a lot of rotary guys out there that I've asked things to, and probably the most helpful for me has probably been like Danny Perez. I think Danny from, let's say, New Jersey. So he's a drag racing guy. And after I got to a certain point, you don't have people to ask questions to, because nobody makes 700 over 700 horsepower. Like, what kind of timing numbers do you run? How much pump fuel do you need? Like, what kind of intercooler stuff do you do? Like, what transmissions, rear ends, like, what works? And these guys drag race all day long. And another guy would be Lynn Bacon. He was like, hey man, this is what I've done. Just point blank tell me what he did. And he makes 7-second passes in the quarter and 170 something mile an hour. I'm not going for that yet.
I heard it yet.
It may happen, but you never know what you're going to do with a car, and you start doing it. I've kind of done a little bit of everything with this one. So,
well, I've been very appreciative of your time today, and I think that you have an amazing vehicle. Every time that we've seen you at a car show, you always have crowd of people around you. The setup here is amazing. You don't see it every day. And your car stands out just from the aesthetics, right? You have it perfectly dropped and lowered for performance, but everyday driving, it's nice, clean, and you don't see this car every day, right? A 93, there's not many of these left on the road to begin with. So when you see one in good condition like this, making the power that you're making, that has the curb appeal, it's a rare bird.
It gets rarer every day, it seems like. People just, they don't maintain them, or they have issues with them and they dump them off. They sit behind a house, like some kind of sat behind your barn.
Right.
So.
Well, I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for coming on the program and for sharing your story and for sharing your vehicle with everybody. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Well, thanks for having me and recording all this and looking into it. It's been great, man.
It's been great, man. Thank you.